back to Full Circle, Florida. The government shutdown slamming Florida's housing market. Flood insurance delays, freezing deals, buyers in limbo. Even if it all ends tomorrow, the ripple effect could last months. Joining me next here is Tampa real estate pro Vincent Arcuri with 30 years of steering through storms like this. The government shutdown, how is that impacting the housing market as we stand here today?
Well, you know, anytime it impacts insurance, and, you know, when you're looking at the National Flood Insurance Program, the NFIP, which is run by FEMA, it's government, and then you've got the IRS involved to verify people's employment status, so the lenders need that. And there's a multitude of things, FHA, VA, USDA loans, all that's tied to the government. So when there's a shutdown, it really, those people get furloughed, they're at home working, they're not working. So what it does, it creates a bottleneck. It's delaying real estate closings.
Well, let's say you're not in government. You don't work for government, you have nothing to do with government. Does it still impact you, the government shutdown?
Well, it does if you're buying a home, because the insurance, you know, once again, you know, you have to have flood insurance, and in Florida, we're here surrounded by water, so it definitely impacts us more than it does somebody, say, in Iowa, because people require the flood insurance, and a lot of the, you know, here with Citizens is like the last resort, because it's difficult to get flood insurance in Florida, and that definitely is something that the government steps in on.
So if the shutdown had lasted a day, 2 days, 3 days, probably not a big deal, but we're going into our third week here and we still don't know when this is going to end. I mean, it could end at any moment. Now it takes on a whole new kind of look.
Absolutely. And when you look at, you know, real estate is, you know, 20% of our GDP. So, you know, when these closings are delayed, now the people aren't buying the goods at Home Depot, and they're not renovating, and the contractors are delayed as well. So everybody's just kind of standing around waiting on these closings to happen so they could work. So the longer it takes, the more impact it's definitely going to have on our economy.
What is the current state of the real estate market right now in the Tampa Bay region and in Florida? Is it better than it was a year ago? I know we were going through a bit of a reality check there for a while.
Well, we really got socked in the face pretty hard after the 2 hurricanes back to back, right about a year ago.
Yeah.
And we're just starting to see a rebound from that, where you're seeing these areas like Dana Shores where they're rebuilding it, and it's really, I think, going to have a strong rebound in those areas. But then you see something like this, it's like, here we go, here's another delay. It doesn't seem like Florida gets away from it.
Yeah, it does kind of feel like we take 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. One thing that I think was giving it a little bit of juice was the interest rates. It looks like they're going to cut them and continue to cut them. How does that compare with the government shutdown, or does it cancel each other out in terms of momentum right now?
Well, the interest rates really don't have anything to do with the government shutdown per se. I think what it does, if the opposite, is it creates more closings and more people jumping into the real estate market. And now you've got the government shutdown where those people are either experiencing delays or they can't close.
I feel like the housing market in Florida is like kind of like the Bucks. I mean, the Bucks are doing great. They're good on paper, and yet they're injured, and we could be even better. But and the housing market could be even better. But you've got these forces sort of working. It seems like we're swimming upstream when we shouldn't have to. I mean, this is a kind of a politically created crisis. It doesn't have to happen.
Good analogy with the Bucks. If we're like Baker Mayfield, you know, we've got the moxie, the mojo, so we're here in a great. One thing I've learned 34 years of doing this is that the Florida market always bounces back, and it's always a good investment. And no matter what obstacles are put in front of us, we always seem to make a comeback and then take it to another level.
What do you tell buyers right now? If you're a buyer, you probably are a little bit nervous because of the uncertainty. So what do you tell a buyer, regardless of how much the home is at this moment right now?
Well, I tell them to be patient, because real estate is always one of the best investments that you can make. And, you know, a lot of patience and transparency. I tell the buyers to make sure you communicate with your real estate agent, title, and mortgage, so that you understand why this delay is taking place. Because I think a lot of times they blame it on somebody that's involved with the transaction. Sometimes it is, but in this particular case, it is the government. So I tell the buyer, just be patient, and this is going to pass.
And what do you tell a seller? I mean,
Same-
does a seller say, you know what, I'm just going to wait a couple of months and see how this plays out, or do you tell them to go forward with their plans?
Well, I typically, based on past history on how long these shutdowns have lasted, I tell everybody to keep moving forward. And my guesstimate's going to be, it's just going to be a couple of weeks, and we're going to be back to business as usual. And then we'll have that short window wherever the bottleneck will cut loose when everybody goes back to work, and we'll forget this even happened in 6 months.
Whether it's a real storm or a political storm, we'll make it through.
You know it.
The sun will shine again. Vincent Arcuri, appreciate it.
Thanks
as
for
always.
having me.
Thank you.
Thanks.